Yeah, it's a journey, that's for sure. It's a journey.
It's such a journey. And I feel like it's a journey that's not for the faint of heart.
Hello?
What's going on? Welcome to Making Contact on the Evolution Podcast Network. I'm your host, Deanna, and I have a really special episode for you today. I'm connecting with local rapper, songwriter, and performer Cassette as she breaks down her artistic process and brings us into the intricate mind of the female MC. I met Cassette through the underground hip-hop scene in Vancouver about a year ago. I was instantly blown away by her lyrical ability, her power as a performer, and the real, honest, and conscious hip-hop she was creating. Being a hip-hop artist myself, and growing up with the same musical influences as Cassette, we connected effortlessly. Not only does she have a story to tell through her music, but everything she puts out is an embodiment of her journey, as she is a vessel of transformation through her lyrics. Any artist's deepest and fondest memories come from the moments they first fell in love with music. Here's Cassette telling us about when she first fell in love with hip-hop.
Well, I've always been obsessed with music, and when I was really young, my best friend started to show me her big brother's music, which was like the classic golden era of rap, and I just instantly fell in love with it. And then from that point on, I was writing and freestyling. I really wanted to try to just be a part of that because my friend's big brother was a rapper. He was freestyling. They were in a little group. So I really just wanted to do that. So it was really instant for me. I look back, I'm 33, and I would say about 13. So that's 20 years of really feeling in love with that. That was an instant love at first sight, love at first listen. So I did my first recorded my first song. I was 15 or something like that, which is funny because I didn't even know how to write a bar. When I went into the studio with my big brother's friends, they're like, do you know what a bar is? Do you know what a verse is? I didn't even know what they were talking about. And it's funny to look back, and they were like, oh God, we got a lot of work ahead of us. But yeah, I just really fell in love with it. And then around 23, I was really starting to take it more seriously. I entered a KOTD battle rap league, and that was a pivotal moment for me because it was really scary. There was cameras, there was 300 people there, and it was kind of I had a lot to prove because back in those days, because I'm so old school rap orientated, it was you got to earn your respect. It's a lot of credits due, so you do have a lot to prove, and a lot of that was based on your lyricism and your ability to actually freestyle off the top. So from that point on, I was just, doing the battle rap. I was trying to record songs. I was hosting open mic nights, and it just kind of snowballed from there. That was in Nelson. I grew up in a small town called Nelson. So that's where a lot of it came from. And then I moved to Vancouver when I was 25, and I have a lot more opportunities in the city, right? There's a lot more shows, a lot more opportunity. There's a lot bigger demographic. So that's kind of how I started, was just from a young age. And then I did that battle rap, and then I moved to the big city. And I think a big reason why I started the way I did was from the support of other people. I didn't even know until people were like, yo, you have a lot of talent. We're captivated by what you're saying. We want to hear more. And then I was like, wow, people believe in me more than I believe in myself. Maybe I really have something to offer because, again, we're so hard on ourselves, overthinking things. And so I would also say the big reason why I got into hip hop is when I was starting to open up to the public, and I was getting a good response from it. That really helped build the confidence to pursue what I'm doing now.
What distinguishes any artist and songwriter from another is how they write lyrics and what brings them inspiration. Each artist has a unique way that they bring their thoughts and ideas to pen and paper when they are about to create a body of work. Some start with a melody, some start with a beat, some start at the beginning, and some start at the end. Here's some insight into Cassette's writing process.
My writing process is always different. Like sometimes I have to just write by myself. And I'm really trying to break out of that and feel more comfortable like writing with other people, coming into the studio, co-writing with people, vibing off of each other. But for the most part, I write by myself because if I need to repeat a bar 35 times, I'm not going to feel self-conscious about it. Or with somebody else, like it just, you kind of don't have that privacy. But I think it's good for me to break out of that because I don't want to be a hermit with my writing. But with my technique, like I find it's like a puzzle piece. I do honor my technical writing and rhyme schemes, compound rhymes. So if I kind of find an ending rhyme, I try to build off that and then I go down the path with my verses. It's like building a puzzle piece, but also what I've tried to do now with my writing styles, I'm trying not to be so technical because if I become so busy, it kind of takes away from the message. And I'm learning that you can convey just as impactful message by scaling back on your writings, your technical writing. Because I used to always be like, I gotta show myself off. I gotta show what I can do. And it's like, somebody like Slug, he's not the most crazy technical rapper in the world, but some of his songs will just touch people's heart, and his message and his imagery is just so on point. So I'm really just trying to scale back on getting obsessive about how I deliver my lyricism and just also focusing on other parts, my swag, my flow switch ups, maybe having a little bit of technical writing and then scale back on the last 4 bars and just making sure that it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it too.
There's so much that goes into being an MC in this very competitive genre we call hip hop. There are also so many diverse and different styles, flows, and personalities that come to play when you are coming up in any local scene. Also, the debate around whether it is more difficult as a woman to build a following and gain traction as a rap artist has been a topic of discussion not just in a local sense, but amongst the hip-hop community at large. I asked Cassette what she personally thinks are the pros and cons of being a female hip-hop artist.
I would honestly say that there are more pros to it. So I would say that there's more of a scarcity towards our gender in the industry. We are underrepresented, but I feel like we're almost more valued and have more attention shown us because it's like, whoa, there's a female rapper there. You don't see that all the time. You don't hear that all the time. I want to check her out. Or even when we're at a show, it's like one female out of 10, but I find a lot of people do show interest towards that because it's more scarcity, it's more rare. It makes you a little bit more special, I would say. And there's an advantage towards that, especially when you can rap properly. So I do think like that is an advantage and something to hold sacred. But also like with the disadvantages, it is such a male-dominated rap scene that sometimes we don't get taken seriously. I feel like sometimes we just get a free pass, like, oh, well, she's pretty good for a girl. It's like, no, I'm good, period. I don't want to be labeled as a female rapper. I want to be labeled as a rapper, period. I don't want to be put in this little category. So sometimes it is, you do kind of get drowned out a little bit by all that testosterone. So I do feel like it can be hard in that sense because we are underrepresented, but I also find a lot of positivity into it because there's so many rappers out there and you got to kind of find something that makes you a bit more special, a little bit different. And I think being a woman and having that feminine energy to bring to the table can really provide a different dynamic that the industry needs.
What I loved about Cassette's perspective is that you can really see the purpose behind this journey for her. We all face challenges in life, no matter what the situation, but it's important to shift our focus into a more positive way of thinking when necessary. Where others might shy away from competition or judgment, Cassette's belief in herself and her music is what has propelled her to keep seeking her vision in life. For any artist that carries a passion for music in their hearts, it's a relentless journey full of self-discovery, truth, and meaning.
I've gone through a lot of transformations with it, good and bad. Each day is different, I feel like, but it really builds a closer relationship with myself going through it all. Such a reflection on who we are as a person and just our soul. Like, it's an expression, right? So yeah, it's a journey for sure.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was such a gift to talk hip-hop with Cassette and learn more about what her craft means to her. My name is Deanna, and thanks for listening to Making Contact on the Evolution Podcast Network.